Hello, Yakri here with another Warframe video. This time it is a summary of the latest Devstream. Devstream 107. Okay, so let's just jump into it. They're going to introduce separate cosmetic bundles, right, for Prime Unvaulting, so you don't have to buy them with the Prime if you already have it and you just want the cosmetics, right? Or you don't even want the Prime, perhaps. But that's not going to be until the next Unvaulting, the one in the summer, because, as they said, they're kind of locked in to the current packages that they've got, and it wouldn't be fair to the people who've already purchased them to change the deal like midstream, right? And frankly, it's just not feasible to do the level of reworking required, because they probably have to refund everyone who'd bought them so far and then introduce new bundles, and it'd be a huge mess. So next Prime Unvaulting, you're going to have that option, which is going to be great. Cora was previewed. There wasn't really much to it. She's summoned a Kavat. She looks really good. And I guess they've decoupled her from Damage 2.0, but she's going to be changed probably, maybe, in terms of her abilities, and they didn't want to talk about that at the time. So, moving on, there's more Captura stuff, color filters, cool edge mode. It's like this black and white high contrast mode. Bunch of different color filters that were pretty cool. I think the most impressive thing is that they're adding like these animation options where you can have different camera positions saved and you can animate between them at different speeds, and it lets you create like cool machinima things or like neat GIF, like sort of artistic stuff, right? You know, whatever you want to come up with. Seemed really cool. Looks like they're going to be improving that in a pretty awesome way. So that's something to look forward to if you're really into creating like cool in-game sort of fan art or poses for your Warframe. Now, Endless Kuva is coming soon. Endless missions where you can get Kuva, that is. Apparently they had already implemented something like this and just forgot to put it in the game, I guess, or didn't have time to get around to it, but it's coming sometime soon, unknown when exactly, and they'll probably give us more information on it soon. I think they mentioned that was going to be there might be a dev workshop about that. Now, wall running is going to get a new animation, maybe, hopefully, sometime soon, that will be actual wall running, right? Currently, you kind of hop along the walls, and apparently you used to, back in the olden days of Warframe, properly run along walls, right? Well, they want to change it back to running. It will be a new animation, but it will be more in the style of the old one, where you actually run along the walls. Now, arcane enhancement slots. This is something I'm really excited about. It may come as early as next week, which would be fantastic, because the current system of plugging them in and out of cosmetics is a pain in the ass. What they're going to do is have these arcane slots be part of your mod loadout screen, and you'll just be able to slot arcanes into there, just like mods. Well, just like mods. You click on them, and its own arcane screen comes up, and you select an arcane, but very similar. And they will be saved with different weapon loadouts. So, you know, you've got loadout A, and you've got some arcane saved with that. You've got loadout B, there's arcane saved with that. I said weapon loadouts. Let's get back to that in a minute. I should have said Warframe loadouts, because primarily arcanes are for Warframes. However, there will be similar options for Zaws and for operators and for amps. So, don't worry, they're all getting improved. There's not going to be any sort of horrible bastard hybridization of the current arcane system in this, right? So that's pretty great. We're getting a really awesome Daikatana. I just called it a Daikatana. They just called it a big katana. Some people who might want to get fancy would call it a Nodachi. Of course, it's not very realistic, so I don't think it really matters what you call it. But it looked really cool. It looks like it's going to have trailing smoke coming off the back of it. Unfortunately, it's probably not coming out until the Warframe after Cora. It doesn't look like Cora's coming out that soon because she needs to be reworked a bit. So, yeah, we're going to have to wait a long time for that. Makes me sad because that thing looked awesome. Okay, they also previewed the spiders from Venus. I think they look like ticks. They like little bulbous bodies. They're not very spider-like. They have 4 legs, mostly. Or like, I think it's 4 legs. They all have 4 legs anyway. They look a lot like ticks. There's one that's even got like a big bulbous white, big bulbous white sack that it sprays stuff at you, white stuff at you. I don't know if that was actually a joke or if it's seriously going to do that. It would make sense, I guess. But it could just be a dick joke. Who's to say? they did look they looked kind of cool. They had a decent bit of variety in these different types of, Corpus drone ticks, and there is going to be a enormous house-sized tick that will be like the new big Eidolon-like enemy that we're gonna have to deal with on Venus. It should be pretty cool. And this is of critical importance. They tried to make a James Bond reference and said that the movie was Never Say Die. It's not a thing. There's Live and Let Die, and there's Never Say Never again. It's completely... Alright, anyway, moving on from that. It's this horrible atrocity, and they should be ashamed, but there's cooler things to talk about. Cooler in the sense that they are gigantic glaciers in the sky that we will be seeing in Venus, which apparently crash to the surface of Venus and create these high-level zones where you're going to go and do the tough content on Venus instead of having a day and a night cycle. So I don't know how that's going to work in terms of mechanics, but I look forward to trying it out. I'm a big fan of snowy landscapes, extreme weather, and this seems like it's going to be a really crazy, intense thing. But they're appropriate to Warframe, a lot less chill than Cetus kind of is. So that should be fun. Yeah, Winter Storms create level gating. Nef Anyo is going to be on Venus doing stuff, probably. Venus is close to double the size of the plains of Eidolon on both axes. Now, I don't know if they mean axes as in the X, Y directions and the Z direction, right? As in up, down, and back and forth, right? Or did they just mean it's wider and longer, right? I'm not sure. I hope they mean that it's taller as well as wider and longer, as in that sense, because I would love to be able to fly up just insanely high, maybe land up on these flying glaciers or some crazy shit like that. That would be awesome. I'd love to see some insane verticality in the level. Probably I'll be disappointed, but you never know. Could be really awesome. We'll see. They previewed an underground coolant town that we're going to be, doing all our questing shit in. It seemed pretty cool, you could say. It seemed like a really, nice place to hang out. Very Corpus themed. Should be interesting. It'll be interesting to get kind of a look into their not their society exactly. It's more their indentured slave workers that they're just kind of using as a labor resource. Yeah, anyway, there's a new terrain generation system for Venus, which should improve the performance and the visual quality at the same time. So compared to Plains of Eidolon, the ground should look a little bit nicer, a little bit higher quality, and more polygons, but it should also run better on lower end computers than Plains of Eidolon does right now, theoretically, and that is just the terrain section. So yeah. Umbra not going well. They didn't actually say Umbra is not going well. They just heavily implied it by the fact that they didn't want to talk about it, and Steve seemed very chagrined, to say the least. So I would put my money on us getting Umbra no time fucking soon. Sounds like it might be this year, fingers crossed, but if it is this year, my money is on a Christmas present rather than something coming in the summer. So that pretty much covers everything. I was pretty disappointed that we didn't get anything really balance related, but I mean, that's because I fucking love balance shit. Most of the content was pretty interesting. If you haven't had time to watch it yourself, I recommend doing it eventually, maybe just skipping through to see the giant ticks and the art about the Venus, right? Because it's pretty cool stuff. There's some really cool concept art that they showed off as well, and that was pretty neat. It's always cool to see stuff like that in the game design process. So I think that pretty much covers everything. Yep. All right, so that's all. Yakri out.